So it was about 3 years ago that an announcement came out through a new directorate at the National Science Foundation, the Technology Innovation and Partnership Directorate, that there would be a new kind of program being launched called Regional Innovation Engines. And it was a result of the brainstorming and planning of that now 3 years later, we actually we've been named finalists, and I want to invite two of my co-leaders on that, Alexis Vogt and Leah George Van Scott, to come on up and tell us a little bit about the big picture, what's going on with Stellar. Alexis and Leah.
Thanks, Tom. It's wonderful to be here with everyone. Good morning. Leah and I are thrilled to have an opportunity to give you a high-level overview of what Stellar is. This is an opportunity for an NSF Engines Award, which could amount to $160 million. That's with an M. Million dollars coming to our region over a 10-year time span. So this is significant. This is called Stellar, Science, Technology, and Engineering for Laser and Laser Applications Research. You see why we just call it Stellar, because that's a mouthful. In addition to Leah and myself here on stage, we share this leadership team with Tom, with Stefan Prebble from RIT, with Sujatha Ramanujan from Illuminate, John Zugel from the Laboratory for Laser Energetics. So we are happy to be here on their behalf to share just for a high level why this is important and what we are planning to do if we are selected. By the way, we'll know, we're told, spring-ish time if in fact we've been awarded as a recipient of this NSF Engines Award. Lasers are a 16 trillion, with a T, marketplace. There's huge opportunity. There's also huge need. If we look at what the NSF prioritizes, it falls under what we call the NSF TIP Directorate, Technology Innovation Partnership. Of the 10 TIP directorates that are formed here that say this is really what we need to focus our efforts on as a nation, 7 of the 10 rely upon lasers. I'm certain many of you in this room, whether you're representative of an industry partner or an academic partner, work with lasers in all that you do. But there's more that needs to be done in the world of lasers.
So when do we win? How would we spend $160 million over 10 years to achieve the simple task of securing U.S. leadership in laser technologies? We talked to more than 200 companies and leaders in this industry over the last 2 years, and they told us emphatically, number one, you need to increase investment in education and training across the board. Laser technicians, laser engineers. Dr. Vogt's going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. We absolutely need to double down and increase investment to scale R&D to manufacturing, and we have to restore the U.S. supply chain. We keep talking about weaknesses, but there is an opportunity here to secure the supply chain, particularly the Department of War, Department of Defense. They were in DC a couple of weeks ago. This is a critical initiative for them. Question: how many of you here, raise your hands, I don't want to separate or segregate, work for or intend to work for companies that are based in Germany, Japan, or China? Anybody? Okay, all right, we've got a few. So you know, fusion has been a topic that has come up significantly just this past month. It requires high energy lasers. Again, we talked about the laser lab. Companies also told us that it's highly unlikely one individual company would be able to achieve significant technological breakthroughs of high interest, of high value alone. So it comes down to investing in collaboration and leveraging, again, I'm not going to go through this slide, but the assets and the ecosystem that we already have here. Bringing in federal funding, matching it with state funding, matching it with industry needs and industry funding to hit the ground running. So again, why Rochester? Yes, you guys are here, right? Because of the Institute of Optics, our talent, RIT, MCC, the incredible assets and capabilities at the Laser Lab. But we also have more than 150 companies in our region already that employ more than 20,000 people that have incredible expertise that spans sensors, lasers, optical coatings, metrology, semiconductor supply chain, advanced manufacturing. And in the past 7 years, so I'm with Greater Rochester Enterprise, we're the regional economic development organization at the table, tasked with bringing new companies, capital investments, creating jobs to our region so that you incredible students out here in the audience have awesome companies to work for here in Rochester if you want to stay. Over the last 7 years, this industry has invested more than $1.1 billion in the Rochester region, creating more than 4,300 new jobs. When you take that and couple it with the density of our talent coming out of our 19 colleges and universities that are within the stellar footprint in the Greater Rochester, Finger Lakes, New York region, and you couple that with the patent activity at these specialized firms, you realize the Rochester region is second only to Silicon Valley. We are top 5 for STEM degrees conferred. I think you've heard this stat over and over between MCC, RIT, U of R. More than 60% of degrees conferred come out of this region. And from a company perspective, we're #1 for optics patents per 1,000 workers. I'm not trying to strain the optics that are maybe on your contact lenses or your eyes this morning, but this is the footprint that is stellar, the Greater Rochester, Finger Lakes, New York region. It's about the size, a little bit bigger than the state of Connecticut, but it's easily traversable. So if you look at that dot in the middle of the map, Rochester, where you are today and where a high concentration of the population and assets are, and you go all the way down to the bottom, we're a mile-a-minute city. You can get, our average commute time is 21 minutes. You can get to the bottom of this footprint in less than an hour and a half. So it's easily traversable, and this map is intended to show you the ecosystem of workforce development assets, industry that are already developing incredible technologies, as well as R&D that's already underway. So again, we're not going to try to build something new. I mean, we will, but we'll invest in what we have, leverage what we have to hit the ground running. And we think that this is why it positions our region to be an engine that leads and feeds a hub and spoke model across the country for laser innovation and laser technology.
So what are those gaps that Stellar can bridge? We've identified them here. One is talent shortage. Leah mentioned this. We need more PhDs, bachelor's, master's, technicians. We need more people who are entering into this discipline at all levels. So there's talent shortage, core R&D investments, translating the technology into businesses, scaling manufacturing capacity through capital and through markets. These are huge opportunities for this initiative. When we think about workforce development, this is the place to be for optics, photonics, and imaging. We are fortunate to have nation-leading programs, expertise that spans over 100 years. Whether you're thinking about the technician program that's coming out of the program that I lead at MCC, or you're thinking about RIT, as Jan Van Art was just sharing, or here at our Industrial Associates program at the Institute of Optics. We need more people coming through all of these programs to support and to grow the workforce development efforts.
Another important component to the Stellar Initiative that we'll continue to invest in and again double down on is investment and seed funding and incubation, acceleration, entrepreneurship, innovation, not just in the labs through R&D, but through actually seeding these companies and growing the portfolio that is already housed here in Rochester, New York State's Luminate portfolio, which focuses on optics, photonics, imaging, and we want to add that plus, that L, the lasers. How many of you, show of hands, were at the Luminate finals last night?
Come on now.
All right. I saw a lot of people there. So it's an example of, again, something that's already underway that if we invest more in and we focus funding towards laser companies, laser technology companies, that we can just build on, grow, and activate. And VC is important, and we need to secure more, not just for our country, but for our region.
So just to highlight some of the core R&D projects that will be a part of the Stellar program. One, ultra-fast laser design and manufacturing platforms. Huge market applications here. Whether you're thinking about telecom, datacom, manufacturing, chips, healthcare. There's a need for next generation extreme lasers. When we think about national security, fusion, manufacturing, optics, science, laser matter interactions for manufacturing applications, ophthalmics, novel optics, laser communications, or biophotonic and quantum sensing and metrology, biosensors, quantum, remote sensing, metrology. You see how big this area is? There's a huge need, there's a huge opportunity. And so we're looking forward to working on these R&D core projects. Our return on investment, what are we going to end up with? This is our 10X challenge. Over 10 years, Stellar will achieve increase in worker training and retention for the Rochester Finger Lakes laser ecosystem, improvement in performance and cost for critical laser systems and components at scale for manufacturing capacity, and an increase in regional investments in laser R&D, education, and infrastructure for the translation of technologies into commercialization. We have a lot of opportunities ahead of us. We're still looking for more partners. Our call to action for each of you now is if you're interested in being engaged, whether you're a student, an industry partner, please reach out to us. We are excited to be hosting the National Science Foundation for an on-site visit in November, and then looking forward to really great news come springtime.